howdy there, pipe pals and gals. Well, greetings and salutations, pipe pals and gals. Old Holy Smoking Pipe Padre coming back at you. And it is October 17th, the feast of St. Ignatius of Antioch. Just for those of you who are kind of into that kind of stuff. Okay. So it's Old Holy Smoking Pipe Padre. It's been a while since I've been here. Smoking my old Joby, my 45-year-old Joby, I guess. And in it I'm smoking some Sillam's Black. Because it's kind of that season that you kind of do orange and black kind of things, if you know what I mean. Not Halloween per se, but harvest. Yeah, harvest. So harvest color is kind of like the little autumn golds and the reds and the oranges and the blacks. And so we've got some Sillam's Black right there. Yeah, well, I think I got this Sillam's Black originally, and it was unopened until I opened it tonight. Back when I was in Chico, and it might have been like my second or third year there, maybe. I was there about 4.5, almost 5 years. And we didn't really have we had a cigar shop, kind of. We had a couple of those little, I guess you call them head shops, mostly for the kids that would do the what'd you call that, vaping. Maybe some hookah stuff, flavored tobaccos, and not real. It wasn't by any stretch of the imagination a pipe store. Just old, fine tobaccos and all that kind of stuff. So I remember going online, maybe Pipes and Cigars, I'm thinking, and saying, boy, I really liked Sillam's. I really did. And I got two sets, red, green, and black. Black, green, and red. And I got two of each. And I've been working on, for a couple of years, that red. I think it was the red that, it was either the red or the green. I can't remember. Maybe it was the green. Yeah, I could not quite. And I kept trying it. I just kept trying it. And I just didn't really, I think I grew to like it. I can't remember now. But those videos are back there somewhere in my archives, if you care to go back and check it out. Yeah, I've always liked Sillam's, but unfortunately, they're not like a sealed, vacuum-sealed tin. They're a pouch that's sealed in plastic, and the tin is not vacuum-sealed. So it was unopened, technically. It was unopened. And I put it in a plastic Ziploc bag, thinking that, well, that will protect them a little bit longer. But they're about the consistency of Lipton's tea in the tea bag. Before you put the water on it, it's pretty dry. Although I have to say, the flavor and the aroma isn't bad. It's very, if somebody asks that, can you determine if that's Sillam's Black, I'd probably say yeah. So anyway, I been really busy today. Today's Monday, and I have been working on making videos. I think this is my fourth video today that I'm working on. And you may ask, well, why are you pushing out so many videos in one day? And the answer is it's a kind of a complicated answer. Part of the answer is that has to do a little bit with procrastination and laziness. That's part of it. Part of it has to do with the fact that I got this new iPhone 14 Pro Max, along with some new DJI products, to include the new Mavic Mini 3 Pro. Man, these names are just getting crazy. And then getting the DJI wireless microphone system, which is pretty good. I'm not using it on this video. I'm just using, I think, a little shotgun Sennheiser or Sennheiser or whatever you call that name. So, been busy doing that. But the thing is that I've been trying to learn how to fly the new drone. And the reason why I got the new drone, even though the Mini 2 was not bad, did a lot of good, I think I did some really nice videos with the 2. But this new one has what's called AccuTrack or Active Track. And so you can fly the drone and it will track you. So you can walk and talk and make videos. I don't know, maybe I'll throw a little video on there of me doing my walk and talk. And but you also have to use an external microphone as you're doing that, and then you got to sync it all up. And unfortunately, it doesn't sync. You have to kind of do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, the camera's right there. You have to do it the old-fashioned way. And so that's okay. Get away from me, bug. So I got sick a couple weeks ago with some cold. It wasn't COVID. So those of you who are saying, you finally got COVID. No, I got COVID over a year ago. And in fact, and that's the other thing. The other reason why I'm kind of delayed and kind of now rushing to kind of get ahead again is about 2 weeks ago, I made a video, and unfortunately I got a strike against my other account. Not this account. At least I haven't checked this one lately. I might have even gotten a strike on this one. I don't know. But I guess I got in trouble for talking about a unspecified medical issue from an unknown origin that will not be discussed, well, here, really. And I was just, I was talking in my other channel, my homily channel, about how I was really grateful that God's done some really, really awesome healings in my life. I don't deserve a single one of them. But, I have been healed. I've had problems. Of course, I had, some of you know, I've been I used to be a big fan of John Barleycorn, and the good Lord has seen fit to bring healing in that regard. So I had many, many years of continuous, ongoing, consistent sobriety. Very grateful for that. I don't wake up in jail cells, nor do I break out in handcuffs. And that's a good thing. Or I don't wake up sick, hungover, and my whole day is messed up because of it. So I'm really grateful. My lower back seems to be, I don't have any pain now. I'm not taking any drugs. I really don't know what has happened to make the pain go all away, but it has. And I've been walking every day. So I'm grateful for that healing, grateful for the healing of the unspecified medical condition issue that came around 2 years ago from a unknown location or undisclosed location from a science lab near you. But I said some things which is interesting because I just saw another video a few days ago which basically said everything that I said and more, but they decided to teach me a lesson. So if you don't think censorship is a real thing, well, I'm here to tell you that it is. And I really didn't say anything really. I mean, a lot of people are saying these things that are coming out now, and all I did was just kind of reference them, but I was trying to say that I was grateful that because I'm an old guy, and I made it through that whole thing. Now, I got sick, just like a lot of people did, but, I'm grateful that I didn't die. I mean, I could have. I think that I had the, I wonder if I can say, I wouldn't say, I don't want to say, do I even want to give us any kind of reference to what I had? I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about, but I had the Epsilon version. That's a kind of a code for give you hints of what I had. Anyway, so grateful for that. And then last week, strange, I had a little inner ear infection, and right after Mass, Wednesday morning, I could hardly stand up. Everything started spinning. My ear. Couldn't hear anything out of my ear. Now, I surmise that I had like a little pimple in there a few weeks ago, and I guess I popped it or whatever, and it kind of scabbed over, and I kept picking at it for a couple of weeks, and I think probably gave myself a little mild infection by doing that. And so anyway, went to the doctor. A dear friend took me to the doctor, and he looked in there, and I thought, earwax, perforated eardrum, that kind of stuff. And he goes, no. Told him what was going on, and he said, well, yeah, you just got a little eustachian tube there is a little constricted, kind of inflamed there, kind of swollen. And all likelihood, you just go lie down and it'll take care of itself. So I did that. And I'll tell you what, I was dead to the world, man. I was just like, I couldn't, I was so tired. And I didn't get up until about 7 o'clock that night. The room stopped spinning. I got my hearing came back. And Bob's your uncle, and everything was fine again. So anyway, I got on here, and I tried to make a video about a week and a half ago. kind of talking about these same issues out here in the beautiful, you know, Pacific Northwest here. Supposed to, hopefully, I don't know if we're going to get any rain tomorrow, but it's supposed to cloud up, so sometimes we might get a shower or two out of it, so I'm hoping. We sure need it. In fact, October, believe it or not, we usually get our very first little snow dusting, about the second or third, fourth week of October. And that lets us know that Indian summer is over. It's done. We're moving into winter. But tonight, this afternoon, this evening, it's really, really nice. I mean, it's extremely pleasant. It's probably maybe, I'm going to say maybe 62 degrees, maybe 58 degrees. I don't even have a sweater on. It's really nice. So, thought I'd get out here and try and make a little video, maybe not going as long as I normally do. So anyway, so greetings and salutations to everybody out there, all the old pipe pals and gals. So, kind of going back to the original thesis statement of our video tonight, this afternoon, whatever, is that I got backlogged for lots of reasons. Again, part of it was the new technical stuff that I'm trying to figure out how it all works. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but let me tell you, it's a lot of it's not as intuitive as I would like it to be. I also got some new software plugins, which I'm maybe going to be trying, and maybe you've been seeing some of them tonight in this course of this video. And just trying to, make the videos a little more interesting, perhaps entertaining. And it's a lot of fun. I love the creative process of making videos. There's a little gal who I've been watching with a lot of real enjoyment. She's not a pipe presenter. Although, I don't think she'd ever be a pipe presenter, no. But she's a little gal from New York or Washington, D.C., back east, an East Coaster gal. And although she talks a lot about design and, decorating your house and things like that, but mostly she does it in the context of her chaotic life. And she's just, she just has a style about her videos that I just really enjoy and I kind of respond to. I just say, and she has this way of intriguing you about her life. She'll talk about, doing all these design things or how to, make your house more efficient. I mean, believe it or not, I like to do that when I can. And sometimes she has some pretty good tips on kind of how to organize. Basically, mostly it's kind of organizing your life. And I just think that's fascinating. I realize that my life has to be organized or else it becomes chaotic real fast. And I guess I would consider myself kind of a recovering chaos person. Yeah. Kind of, people that, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day and talking about people who, and I'm going to pick on one of my relatives, a sister of mine, and now again, maybe she's changed. This goes back many years now, but And she's not the only one. And again, I kind of did the same thing, maybe not to the extent, but again, it was just one of those things. I guess maybe I was seeing myself in reflected in her life, and I kind of thought, boy, that's pretty embarrassing. But again, I don't know if you ever did this when you were younger. Maybe you have kids and you don't have a lot of time to organize. So anyway, it's a little embarrassing to say it this way, but I'm just going to put it out there. People who just they aren't the tidiest people in the world. And I remember going into their home one afternoon, and they had like 4 or 5 big black trash bags all throughout the house. 2 of them were in the kitchen. Instead of, I'm not talking about in a little, one of the little plastic trash receptacles that you see in a kitchen or under a sink or whatever, but 2 huge. I mean, they're about the size of a small bear. One was in one corner of the kitchen and one was in another, and they just walked around them. And I'm thinking, but then again, I realized that I'm the person that used to have a sink full of dirty dishes for maybe 2 weeks on end, and then finally I'd wash them. And I would have maybe a bag of trash that was maybe in the corner somewhere, but not like 3 or 4 of them all at once. Big, huge things, like the leaf bags. And so I was very embarrassed for them. But then again, I think I was really more embarrassed about myself because I was like, and you do that too. I don't mean you out there, but I mean me, and I did that. And so it's taken a couple of decades for me to get to a point where I don't do that anymore. You could go down right now to my kitchen sink and you wouldn't find a single dirty spoon or plate or cup or anything. There aren't any black trash bags, that are hanging out in my kitchen. The things are pretty organized. I mean, they're not perfect. I mean, it doesn't look like Martha Stewart. Well, it looks like Martha Stewart might have been here once or twice in the last couple of weeks, but it's that kind of a organization. So organization is kind of a key thing for me, because if I start to drift off even a little bit into the little world of chaos, and it really starts real easy. You make a dinner, or, especially if you have friends over, and you say, I'll take care of it tomorrow. Well, tomorrow becomes, well, I'll take care of it this afternoon, and then this afternoon becomes, well, I'll take care of it again tomorrow, and you have a whole bunch of tomorrows, and it's really, I learned, I've been taught by the best over the years, and kind of came home to me, probably 15 years ago, 12 years ago. I was living with this really nice lady. She was just a saint, and had rented a room for her. But I and again, not trying to antagonize people. Sometimes you can do it actively and sometimes passively. Excuse me. And I think a lot of that other stuff is just passive, not passive aggressive per se. But you don't realize, like I remember the first few weeks I lived with this person, and I thought, boy, they really have a nice home. And everything's always neat and tidy. And so I remember I left some dirty dishes in the sink one night, and the next morning this lady was, she was very polite. She wasn't, like a Karen, somebody that's really rude and obnoxious. She just said, I noticed those dishes in the sink. I said, oh yeah, I forgot to wash them. And she says, did you live like that when you were all by yourself? And I went, yeah, let me wash those up real quick. First and last time I ever did that. And then I got into the habit of When you're done, you clean up everything, and then the next morning you don't have to worry about it. It works out really well that way. So anyway, but and I mean, I think it's its own reward when you get into that habit. You know, you just don't live in chaos that much. I mean, there's still going to be chaos in your life, but it's certainly a lot easier to manage when it does happen, and you're, like, oh, okay, got to get this done. Get it done. So anyway, so the reason why I've been kind of, been making videos today is because of my little bit of illness there, a little bit of new technology, learning, new software, new products, getting suspended from YouTube. So all those things kind of started, I kind of got to a point where I just wasn't feeling, the joy that I once felt in making videos. Because it was sort of like kind of having to climb up a really steep hill, and I'm dead tired. And I just started thinking today, I said, I've kind of given myself more than enough excuses. and yes, and by the way, I'm able to upload now on my other channel. I still got a strike until the end of December, providing I don't get in trouble again. So, other than that, we've been doing a lot of work around here in the church and putting in some beautiful lights and making some minor changes that I think are significant. And have you heard that? Yeah. Just kind of just taking it easy. Kind of, I think also another thing that's kind of starting to kind of settle in is the fact that, summer's over, fall is definitely here, but winter is sort of like it's peeking around the corner, but hasn't made itself known yet, And there'll come that day, that morning, that night, when the snow starts falling and you know that winter is now officially here. And there's a little bit of a maybe expectation and a little bit of anxiety all mixed together, because once it starts, it really does make a real major shift in how things are done, how you negotiate, just going to the store. Now, I have to be honest. Again, this is a nice place to live, and we can get some good snow. Now, the thing is that the snow here is in the winter here is not Arctic. I don't think I've been here. I've been here a little over 3 years, and it hasn't been below zero since I've been here. But if you were up in the northern hemisphere, like Montana or Wyoming or North Dakota or Minnesota, those places, you're going to get Arctic conditions, no doubt. So do we get cold weather here? Yeah, it gets cold. Most of the time it's between, I'd say, in the low, when it gets really cold, it's right around like 5 and 7 and 8. That's pretty cold up for here. Most of the winter, daytime temperatures will probably be in the teens or low 20s, mid 20s, which is, that's kind of typical. In fact, a lot of times it's in the 30s. Low 30s to be sure, but still it's in the 30s. I'd say that's probably a little bit more of a typical day temperature, which isn't bad. 37 degrees, I'm still walking around like this in 37 degrees weather. It starts to get a little cool at 37. And there were a couple times, I think around one time I went for a couple walks when it was 24 and 26. So, I kind of enjoy that cool, refreshing kind of. To me, it feels refreshing for the most part. Now, when it starts getting cold, it's a little bit of a challenge, but I feel like, well, for 15, 20 minutes walking around, it's not that bad. So now I know some of you live, on the East Coast and you're up in the Northern Hemisphere. And so I know that you guys, a lot of you, again, you get really Arctic temperatures, and that wind that when it blows off of the ocean there, the Atlantic there, ooh boy, now that'll go right through you like a knife. So, that cold, wet stuff, yeah, that can be miserable. Yep, so you betcha. Yep, you betcha. But basically, here the winters I call them Hollywood winters, Hollywood snow. I mean, it looks pretty, looks really, really pretty in the wintertime. And we get some, like last year, it was just really pretty and got some really nice pictures. But for the most part, it's manageable. If you prepare, you won't have any problems. Last year I finally broke down and bought some real winter snow boots, my Sorels. I love them. Because a lot of times what happens is that the snow will, when it gets deep, the next day, like I said, it can go between, maybe the teens and the low 30s, the high 30s, if the sun's out, maybe 37, 38, and so what happens is it gets slushy. And although I usually just walk around with my tennis shoes on, not in that, no. But if I got my Sorels on, oh man, don't even feel it. It's wonderful. But anyway, it's autumn, perfect pipe smoking weather. It's wonderful. I'll be hearing the little sounds of either chipmunks or birds or something. I don't know. Pterodactyls. Yeah, so so I don't know if I have that much more to yammer on about. I don't know if I have any tall tales or short stories or middle-aged meanderings to share with you tonight. I think I have a little bit more, fire in the belly, and I might be all riled up about something, and I'll, kind of give you my pipetification there, but can't really think of anything other than just the fact that, it's just a pleasant evening, and it's a real blessing to be able to be sitting out here and, enjoying this beautiful weather in this beautiful home that I call home. Just absolutely gorgeous. Maybe I'll throw some drone stuff. I took some drone pictures earlier today and playing around with that DJI Active Track drone technology, I like I said, I really enjoy the little avocation that I have in making videos. I don't know. I know some of you like to make videos, and some of you do really, really very creative stuff. Like getting back to this little gal, her name is Caroline Winkler, I think it is. Anyway, you might want to check her out. She's just I think she's a lot of fun. Now, some people might think that she's overbearing and narcissistic, but she's actually a really charming little gal. And I just love her stories. She does more like, I guess you would call it more of a vlog kind of a, like day in a life kind of a thing. I've done a few of those, but she's just extremely creative, and she just really brings you into her little world there. And like I said, sometimes she gives you some pretty interesting tips on, whether how to organize your home basically, or sometimes decorate your home, that kind of stuff. And again, I try to make this a nice home, and I got lodgers that come in here from time to time, different padres, and sometimes they, like this week I got a padre coming up, and he got some relations coming from Ireland, so we'll be putting on the feed bag for those folks. And then next week I got another priest friend of mine who's coming up for a little getaway, a little retreat, so so that's always good. So anyway, but just trying to, I guess one thing is I'd say is, not being overwhelmed by all of the problems. I guess if I was going to get serious here just for a moment, and I haven't been paying a lot of attention, maybe I should, but a few things that I have heard in passing about the whole possibility, of some World War III and, nuclear war, and that'd mess up your whole day, wouldn't it? Mine too. It's just like, oh man, I just, there's so many problems in the world, and yet a lot of people, I think, bring a lot of unnecessary problems, for themselves first and foremost, and then for other people, and it's just like, I wish people could kind of live and let live, really, we're all none of us are all we're all gonna be completely homogeneous, and homogenized. I guess we're gonna have differences of opinions, as I say all the time. Some people will choose to agree with what I say, and a lot of people choose to disagree, and that's okay. But it does seem like it does seem like some of the people that are trying to promote a new world order are, they're kicking butt and taking names, and, they're not going to give any quarter. It's like, you're either going to subscribe to our view of the world or else. It's like, even Greta used to call her Greta Thunberg or Sunburn, or I have her picture sometimes in one of my little intros. Sometimes I have fire around the picture frame just to, get your attention. Somebody really didn't like that. They thought that was a pretty mean thing to do. I thought, I'm just playing around with basically my plugins, really, But apparently she's like 19 now, going on 20, and it was almost kind of funny because, 4 or 5 years ago, she's, how dare you, and they had a little video of her, and she just said, well, God bless her. She was humble enough to admit it. Like, yeah, maybe I overdid it. Maybe overplayed it just a little bit. Maybe, would you do it again? No, I don't know if I'd do it that way anymore. I'd kind of probably find a different way of saying things, which I thought, a little bit of wisdom, So, she just almost seemed like some, I wouldn't say the fire's gone out of her, but I think some of the hyperbole and the extremism has gone out of her. It's like, maybe she's starting to say, well, you know what, I'm 19 years old, and I think I'd like to live my life now. I don't want to be a rabble rouser, or I don't want to be a agitator. I just want to maybe live my life. And thinking, okay, that might be a good idea. So it was interesting because it's almost like, it's again like, when you're high school, or you're young at something and you're really, and then you kind of look back a few years later, or maybe 10 years later, whatever, and you kind of go, well, go back and look at your high school yearbook. A lot of us kind of regret, especially if we wanted to be like the into the current thing back then, whether it was the latest hairstyle or the latest fashion or whatever it was, and you go, what was I thinking, So anyway, I don't know. We all get a little. Hopefully, we all get a little bit wiser with age. And so some things you look back on and you might say, well, yeah, I said that, or yeah, I did that, or what are you going to say? I'm just a young dumb kid, And so anyway, maybe even there's hope for Greta Thunberg or Sunburn. I used to call her Greta Sunburn because I think she'd been out in the sun too long. Well, okay. So, well, you know what? I think I'm probably exhausted everything I'm going to talk about tonight. So I want to say thank you for kind of coming along and listen to the old pipe padre here, and sure hope you're having a really pleasant evening where you're at. And so probably I'll be back, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'll maybe be back with a little Halloween special. I always like doing little Halloween specials. I don't know why. It's just kind of one of those things that I kind of like to do. So maybe this year I'll have another idea that'll be kind of like percolating and be fun to just do a little Halloween video. Okay, so thanks for watching, folks, and maybe we'll see you next time. Hopefully. Hope you're doing well. Keeping the COVID away and all that good stuff. So until next time, light up your world and light up your pipe. Whoop. We'll see you.